Joe Musso alongside Kyle Porter and Rick Gehman here at the 106th playing of the PGA Championship, fellas. What a Saturday it was as they are stacked up coming down the final furlong here in Derby City. We have some horses out and running, and we're going to start right there with those a nose ahead. Two tied at the top at 15 under. Xander Schauffele trying to go wire to wire. I was going to see how many I could fit in there all at once for you, Rick. It was a good round by Xander Schauffele. Good golf, no doubt about that, but it certainly feels like meat left on the bone here with that double bogey on the card.
Yeah, this was a slow start indeed. You know, the way the day started, the final groups, both the penultimate group and the last group, they were really struggling. And as those guys were struggling and the scoring averages were really strong, the gaps were closing and a lot of guys were piling up. Xander Schauffele makes a pretty ugly double on the 15th hole where he hits one long into no man's land, and his inability to get up and down from there and not even advance it to the green. He was able to salvage a couple of strokes coming in, but KP, this is so similar of a situation to what we had last week at the Wells Fargo Championship. This week, Xander led after 18 holes by 3 strokes. He led after 36 by 1. Now after 54, it's down to a 0-shot lead. He's tied at the top of the board. This is going in the wrong direction.
It is going in the wrong direction, but I do think that this actually might benefit him on Sunday. I mean, I don't know how many rounds in major championships we have to watch of Xander Schauffele running out, getting a lead, and coming back to the pack before we realize, hey, he's uncomfortable leading. Like, I just don't think he has a lot of comfort when he is out in front with that lead. And listen, like, they know they're going to have to go shoot 67, 66 tomorrow to win. And he's tied with somebody. He doesn't have that discomfort of leading alone. I think this actually, you don't want to make a double bogey, but I think in some ways this benefits him a little bit going into Sunday.
Xander Schauffele has not carded around in the 60s on a Sunday since Riviera earlier this season. It's been a while, and like you said, it's going to take something probably deep into the 60s to get it done, KP.
Yeah, he's 56th on the PGA Tour in 4th round scoring average this year, which is well below where he's at 1st through 3rd round. So something to keep an eye on Sunday.
Swimming alongside of him is a real shark on Sunday. Someone that, when the blood is in the water, Collin Morikawa, it seems to bring the best out of him. We saw that here on Saturday as well, KP.
Yeah, we did. You know, we were talking earlier, and I actually noticed this a little bit on Friday. He kind of has that look. He kind of has that look in his eye of, hey, I'm going to go win my third in my first 18 starts at major championships. That's an astounding number. We've talked a lot about historic figures this week. We've talked about Scottie Scheffler's potential calendar year Grand Slam. We've talked about Brooks Koepka going for his 6 and Rory McIlroy going for his 5. Guess what? All 3 of those guys are out of it. Enter Collin Morikawa, who could win his 3rd major championship in his first 18 starts. That'd be faster than Tiger, faster than Brooks Koepka, faster than Jordan Spieth, and equivalent to what Tom Watson did back in 1977. He looks awesome so far. I think the thing to keep an eye on with him, Rick, is how many fairways does he hit on Sunday, because that's how he's been doing it. A lot of these guys up at the top are doing it with length. Sahith, Bryson, even Xander's really long. Morikawa's way down at the bottom in terms of driving distance. You got to hit fairways to give yourself scoring opportunities.
I find Collin to be a high momentum player. When things are going well, they're going really well. When things are going south, they go really south. But at major championships, he's able to use kind of a lot of that raw talent and the fact that he's one of the best second shot players in the world to separate himself from many of his peers. Now that he's in the mix, it's really hard to shake him. I was impressed with the way that he just hung around today. You know, this was a slow start, as mentioned, for everybody, but you know that there's going to be some scoring opportunities coming later in the round. He was able to take advantage of those, and now we are here talking about what could truly be a historic Sunday. I mean, KP outlined it beautifully. A 3rd major championship at this point in the career would be almost unmatched.
It would be heady stuff. 7 of our last 10 major champions have come from the final pairing, but there are so many within arm's reach of the Wanamaker. 9 players within 4 shots of that 15 under lead heading into the final round. Shane Lowry certainly comes to mind after what was a torrid 62, matches a major championship record. Now, we've seen 2 62s on this golf course this week. We've seen 4 62s at majors over the last 11 months, 2 at LACC not long ago last season. Rick, as you take a look at what it's going to take, Shane Lowry is going to have to post something deep in red numbers once again to walk away with the Wanamaker. But how likely is it that he can stack something on top of this 62, similar to it, and be there at day's end?
Quite unlikely. And that is not a knock against Shane Lowry. Also, we probably have to have a conversation at some point in the future about why the 4 lowest rounds in major championship history have all come in the last 4 major championships. Lowry was awesome, right? And we picked him up late in his round, KP, because we wanted the opportunity to potentially see history being made. And the problem for Shane is not only is it very difficult to follow up a very low round with another low one, the way that he did it on Saturday is very unsustainable. He gained about 6 strokes putting. It's an outrageous number. It accounted for nearly all of the strokes that he did pick up on the field over the course of the day. That is something that will almost certainly be regressing on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because he's been one of the worst guys from tee to green in the top 10 right now. And when we saw him come up on the leaderboard, we were saying, wait a second, Shane Lowry's 7 under, 8 under. He's 9 under now. And I thought back to Zurich, he hit it terribly. Him and Rory go on to win, and Rory kind of carried him, right? Shane Lowry did not hit it very well. That's kind of continued so far this week, but he putted the lights out. Now, he could put the lights out again on Sunday. It's just, like Rick said, pretty unsustainable and pretty unlikely given all the big boppers at the top of this leaderboard.
It's going to take hard work to be the one who does hoist the Wanamaker. You know, one who's willing to do the work. Bryson DeChambeau. Late into the night, it was DeChambeau. Beating balls into darkness, we have Bryson DeChambeau on the range behind us at this given moment, hitting balls again, getting ready for his final round. Chips in at the last. Certainly an injection of life into what he hopes can be a major championship moment. Rick, what did you make of this round for Bryson DeChambeau?
Well, you look at what Bryson's been up to for the last year or so. He's been playing well on Live Golf. He is one of the better players, and he's looking fit again. So when you have Bryson at a U.S. Open or at a PGA Championship, this is such a better setup for him than a Masters.
I agree.
And he played well at Augusta National. And Bryson is dangerous here. He is. I mean, if this is a pro Scotty crowd, it's a pro Justin Thomas crowd, but it's also a pro Bryson crowd. They're loving him here in Louisville.
Yeah, they really are. Are you saying that it's a better setup for him because his club head speed and his swing speed is more viable out of the rough rather than maybe some of those shorter half shots that he struggles with at Augusta National?
Yeah, so Augusta National gives you a lot of awkward shots. Remember, Bryson uses single length irons, so that can be a little bit difficult. But club head speed,
it looks difficult.
it is difficult, and club head speed accounts for 2 things. It's distance off the tee, and it's extracting yourself from that very thick rough. 2 incredibly valuable things at a golf course that plays like 70, 600 yards.
I'm fired up about Bryson. He is completely absurd. Everything he does is ridiculous. You can't just try and win the Masters. You have to try and win the Masters with 3D printed irons.
Yeah.
He talked about him again today. Said they're a 1 of 1. He doesn't have a backup, so he's being careful with them. I saw somebody on Twitter say, "You just printed him. Can't you just print another set?"
Another set.
He's the best whenever he's in contention. I can't wait to watch him on Sunday.
A peek into the mind. Wednesday, Bryson DeChambeau getting ready for his tournament. Staying in the same hotel. I'm waiting out in front.
Oh, right.
Bryson pulls up in his courtesy vehicle, gets out. I'm expecting him to walk right into the hotel. The clubs come out of the back of the car. The driver comes out of the bag, and he's taking swings in front of the hotel.
One of us.
This is a man who always has the swing on his mind. It is a major on his mind come Sunday. We will see if he can get it done. Scotty Scheffler looked like he was well on his way to this second leg of the season-long Grand Slam. That was until it came off the rails through holes 2 through 4 here on Saturday, KP. We were taking that in firsthand, and it looked like that adrenaline dump certainly did affect him here on day 3.
Yeah, for sure. It was some bad shots. He wasn't great from tee to green. I thought it was some bad decision making. You know, we were with him on the second hole. He hits it right into the bunker, and we're kind of talking to each other and saying, "Hey, you just got to make 5 here." The second hole is very difficult, very long, and he does the thing you can't do and pulls his approach way left, chunks a couple of chips, and ends up with 6. It was some kind of curious decision making. Pulls driver at number 4, the drivable par 4, when guys that were kind of his length were hitting shorter clubs, right? They were hitting 3-woods. They were hitting hybrids into that hole. He pulled driver right here, pulled it way left. and made another bogey there. So I thought it was a combination of didn't hit it as well as he's been hitting it, obviously, and then made some bad decisions that led to what is his first round over par so far in 2024.
That was way too much club on 4 to try to hit driver there. We saw Thomas Dietrich almost reach that green with something like a hybrid. And in between those 2 holes, 2 and 4, he 3 putts. And the second putt he made, I mean, it was a snap hook. I mean, it was a double cross. It was one of the worst putter swings I've seen Scotty Scheffler or anybody have in the last couple of years. And it's just jarring. You know, maybe it is the adrenaline dump like you mentioned, Joe, but it looked from a strategic standpoint, from an execution standpoint, that he was not himself. This streak of even par or better was going to end at some point. We will not have a Triple Crown winner this year. We will not have a season-long Grand Slam.
Paying one off here on the back end. Would not be surprised, although, if Scotty Scheffler posts something mid to low 60s and gets right into that top 10 as he has so many times before at these major championships. We're not looking for top 10s. We are looking for a winner. Kyle Porter, who hoists the Wanamaker about 24 hours from where we sit.
Well, I've been thinking Colin Morikawa. Somebody was pointing out earlier, this has a Harding Park feel. Remember Harding Park at 54 holes? It was DJ, it was Brooks, it was Morikawa, Bryson was in it, Paul Casey, Scotty Scheffler was in it. There was a lot of kind of big names piled up at the top there. I think I'm going Bryson.
Okay.
I am into what he's doing. He's number 1 in the field in driving distance. To me, I came into the week, Rick, thinking that was the most important thing, or the most important kind of statistical category for a winner this week. And Bryson's been the best at it so far. I think he takes hold of the moment and gets it done.
I'm worried about Bryson. I'm worried about Colin. I'm worried about Xander, but I'm going to do it. It's Victor Hovland.
Oh, wow. Yeah, the beautiful boy is back.
First time major champion. He has looked so much like the 2023 version of Victor Hovland, which, let me remind you, was countless wins, a FedEx Cup, about $30 million, and was in the PGA Championship deep until the 70th hole last year at Oak Hill. He has fixed the short game. He is brimming with confidence. I'm seeing the smile more than I've ever seen it here in 2024. He gets to be part of the chase pack, Chasers Freedom. Victor Hovland.
I got to see it under real pressure first. I'm with you. I think it's good, but I got to see it under Sunday pressure before.
How about Ryder Cup pressure?
Well, yeah, I mean, he was amazing last year, but we're talking about 2024, Victor. I'm not talking about him overall. I'm just talking about this year. Yeah. If he's back, I think he has to do it under like an immense amount of pressure on a Sunday.
So you're looking for a chip in at the first to really set the tone.
I would just be over the moon.
It's been 68 or better in all 3 rounds for Victor Hovland here this week at Valhalla. Had not posted a round of 68 or better in his 6 prior starts on the PGA Tour. It is trending in the right direction, and Joe Mayo's rate is going up once again. Kyle Porter, Rick Gehman here as we set the stage for Sunday at the PGA Championship. And don't forget, the conversation always continues on the First Cut podcast. Our guys taking you under the ropes and into the action each and every week on tour, including can't miss pods here from Valhalla. Download, subscribe, and enjoy the First Cut podcast.